then it makes a difference to us and to everyone, because we have a lot of decisions to make based on our knowledge of science, technology. All that thing is more important to public policy in our lives today than ever. So I was making a point about something I heard, and the fact that you say you're not sure the legislators and policymakers are informed or not. Some are, some aren't. But, and it sounds a little cynical, I know, but politics is where the decisions get made, and politics, perceptions rule over facts a lot, so we have to be concerned about that.
And, you know, I agree with you. I just don't think it's right that some, you know, I'm not a doctor, so if I were to try to make decisions regarding somebody's health, I could probably get thrown in jail for that.
We're not going to get anywhere near health care today.
No, I was just saying, like, if I was a surgeon, if I tried to make decisions for a surgeon or something, you know, I have the qualification that I can't make that kind of decision, and nobody would listen to me. Yet it really bugs me that big-name politicians and other public leaders, without this kind of qualification, they are making these kind of decisions.
This is one reason why I say the hype is good, because, as has been said before, you know, democracy is messy, and you can open up the floor for debate, and you know you're going to get a big mess sometimes. But I think we have to do that with things like nanotechnology, or things that have the potential to impact our lives in a very serious way.
So far we've talked about hype as far as the positive things, as far as the things that we can achieve with nanotechnology. I want to know what you've seen out there, and as far as the health dangers of nanotechnology, and any of the research that you have that you know about as far as potential health dangers, or that there is a danger from it. And I'm talking about like in products, because I've heard some sunscreens in your socks. What are some of the things that we might see as far as claims about people being hurt by nanotechnology?
Well, we have right now researchers at ASU and elsewhere who are doing studies on exactly that thing, because, as Joel was saying, the nanotechnology, these nanomaterials that are in socks or pants that never stain, that type of thing, these things eventually find their way in some shape or form into the environment. There's a lot right now that isn't known about how, you know, where do they go, you know, soils, water, air, and what their impact may be. So, from my understanding of it is, people, yes, are concerned about it. They're starting to study about it, but we don't know a lot about it. So there is concern about the health impacts of using nanotechnology and, you know, things you may even eat, I don't know, or toothpaste or something. Because there's a lot of potential to use in a lot of things. So where do they go? A headline on a story that I recently wrote was, and it was a little inaccurate, and the researcher says a little inaccurate, but it's clever and we liked it. But the headline was, what's in your iPod may end up in your liver. So, so the point was that this kind of thing, there's a lot we don't know about what happens to those nanoparticles that are in products that may get released or escape from those products and get to who knows where.
And to be fair to the people who hate nano and everything it stands for, the entire point of a lot of these technologies is that matter behaves fundamentally differently when you get it down to this size. That's the point. That's why you want to do it. Well, the flip side of that is that we're still trying to figure out how you would test for this. The tests are still being invented and imagined. And as with all new technologies, there's going to be mistakes. That's how we learn. You know, there's a notion that's particularly popular in Europe called the precautionary principle, which says that we should never do anything new until we're positive that it won't do any harm. It sounds like a great idea in principle. The problem is that, you know, if this had been applied to Christopher Columbus, that might have done the world some good, you know, because his descendants would still be writing the environmental impact statement, you know, now about whether or not we should set sail. you have to decide about, how you feel. This is about risk. This is a risky business. There's no question about that. And, and you want to be fair and upfront about this. And you want to have a discussion about risks and rewards. What happens if we could cure, fundamentally attack disease? Well, what are we willing to risk for that? Those are big. That's the reason why we have to care about people understanding this, because that's ultimately a societal question and a political question. It's not going to be. And denying that this risk exists is, I think, a bad strategy. I think you get it out there and you talk about it, and you say, okay. And by the way, we might be able to save the planet from climate change, but there's this risk. And how do you feel about that? That's an important debate.